Pretty good.
Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so let me read through what we talked about last night really quick. So you're 2.7k rated, you play mid and carry, and you want to focus on... Okay. Okay, yep, so you want to focus on mechanics, just general game sense and stuff. So, best thing for us to do is just watch a replay then, and I can like see what your problems are, and we can go from there. See how it goes. Okay, so did you add me in game or no, or on Steam?
I thought I did, but I don't think I did.
Okay, well you can always just send me a match ID too. It's up to you.
Well, I have one I played recently as ANTIMAGE at my work.
Okay, sure. Okay. So the way this works is I just watch the replay and share my screen, so we don't have to like sync up the times or anything. Just makes things a lot easier.
All right.
Okay.
Works for me.
So I'm gonna share. Do you have any questions before we start? Like, if you do, that's cool.
Well, I know part of my problem is in my laning phase, so I think if there's anything in that specifically that'll help me, then we can point it out. That's fine. Other than that, no, not really.
Okay. All good, all good. Okay, so we're anti-mage. Let's see what happens. Alright. Was this a ranked game?
No, it was normal.
Okay. Well, first things first, I do recommend that you just stick to ranked. It's higher quality games. If you're learning a new hero, then it's okay to play normals, but yeah. If you're playing against better players more often, you're just going to get better naturally, because you have to, play a little bit better, but it's okay. It's not really a big deal. Starting items are a little weird. The Tango Salve is totally fine. Stout Shield, totally fine. But the 3 branches are, like, a bit off for me. 1 branch is okay, because you're going to build a headdress eventually, and a Vlad's. So it's fine, but these other 2 are just going to, like, be replaced really quickly. I think alternatively you could go for a Fairy Fire. So it'd give you a little bit of last hit power, and, if you get into a fight or whatever, you have it. So rather than getting 2 branches, I would go for a Fairy Fire. Also, what some players do is they go for 2 sets of Tangos and a Salve and Stout Shield and 1 branch. And that's an okay way to spend your money as well, if you're playing against like an aggressive lane or whatever. Okay. This is pretty small, but starting items do matter for sure.
Yeah, I'm not good at itemization that much either, but
That's okay. You don't really have to be like super good, as long as you know the cookie cutter builds, and you can just go back to those if you're ever in doubt. Itemization is important, but it's not as important as like other fundamental things, like being able to CS, knowing your hero's limits, positioning, all that stuff. Okay, so here is like a slight issue with the lane. That's gonna happen right away. So basically, like their range creep gets to the lane first, and your range creep starts hitting it at the same time. This is kind of an issue, and it's only an issue because Silencer took some creep aggro here, and that like adjusted the way the lane was going to like work out. Like before, the range creeps were hitting each other, and that was fine. But now that the enemy range creep stopped hitting your range creep and hit Silencer instead, it's going to die before your range creep. So the wave is going to naturally push. And it's going to push even more now since you aggro this. And it's not bad to aggro this, but you don't want to do it in cases like this. Basically, like, let's look at what happens when you pull aggro like this. Like, just look very closely at the creeps. So the creeps stop hitting your creeps, and your creeps continue hitting their creeps. So naturally, your creeps are going to stay very healthy, and their creeps are going to lose some HP. So that will cause the lane to push into ET's tower. Do you get that much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was kind of an issue. You could resolve this by just denying your creeps as much as possible, or you can also pull the side camp. It's not your job to pull the side camp, but if it's something that's going to help your lane, which in this case it would, then you should do it, for sure. Okay, Yeah, so you so you already sold the branch, and you haven't even like you've gone one CS in the lane, so that's already a waste to just sell like that. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's only 25 gold, but it does matter for sure.
Right.
Also, when you're playing against a melee hero, it's generally better to get mana break at level 1. It just allows you to trade much easier, much more effectively rather. Blink is not bad though if you're ever like even close to thinking that you're in danger or whatever. It's totally fine to get this. Okay. Pushing here is very bad. You don't want to do this.
I know, and that's a problem I haven't worked out yet.
Well, that's an easy one to fix, right? You can just practice in a custom game or whatever. I'll talk about that stuff like towards the end again. But equilibrium is something like if you're a carry player, then you need to know this in and out in order for you to like be able to carry games. Because you can just win games by like last hitting for the first 10 minutes or so and just denying the offlaner because of your wave control. Like you can win games off of that. So you want to like be able to do that. That's super easy. Well, it's easy once you like you know, get the basics down anyway. Okay. So now the lane is pushing, and because there was some weird stuff going on, it's pushing into ET's tower. He's going to get a lot of experience here. You have a couple options here. The best one is to last hit these two creeps and then immediately try to pull this camp into the oncoming creep wave. This will like reset the wave, so to speak, and it'll also deny a little bit of XP. Again, it's not your job, but it's something that you have to do if your support's not doing. It's just pretty important. Whereas now this creep wave is just gonna like go straight into his tower, or like straight here, and like this is the primo spot for the lane to be for ET. Like this is exactly where he wants it. Like he's very safe. You guys can't really harass him, and he can still like get last hits and XP. Okay, that's fine. Can you hear my dogs in the background? It's kind of awkward, but...
No, I can't.
Okay, great. That is good news. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is, like, pretty standard. Not much to talk about here, like, other than the stuff I already mentioned. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, this is something that you don't want to be doing too often. It's a good thing to be able to do, like the aggro trick, but you don't want to just do it willy-nilly. It's something that you do when you're in danger of taking damage, like when you go for a CS. So like let's say there's a Windrunner here, and every time you go for a CS, she's going to hit you once. Obviously, you don't want to get hit. When you get hit, you lose HP. So you could do this aggro trick to pull the creeps towards you, and then you'll get a CS safely that way. Now, when you just do it like this, when there's no threat, that just pushes away for no reason, and it makes you have to do more work. And it's not bad to do this if you're like, you know, putting in the work of denying the creeps at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Pretty standard last hitting stuff so far. I get stomped, but it doesn't matter. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty good. You hesitated a little bit when ET went, but it was a good decision overall to just go for him. It's good stuff. These two heroes cannot kill you no matter what, at least not at their level. So right here you should have turned on to ET like right away rather than running back, but really not a big deal at all. Also, that little hesitation there was not ideal, but I mean, that's nitpicking at this point. It was a good decision to go for ET for sure. Okay. Also, I'm not sure if this is something you do, but you definitely want to be sure that you're clicking on enemy heroes to see like what their mana values are and you know what items they have. It's just super helpful. I mean, knowing what items a hero has is incredibly important, as you know this, you're a Dota player, and also knowing how much mana they have is important as well. It just will help you make better decisions in fights on like who to go for, if you can go on somebody in lane, you know, everything else. Okay, I don't like this salve. It's not bad because like Silencer can stay in lane now, but like he needs to clarity up. I think he should have just gone back to base in this case. You kind of do need the regen. Like if he was full mana, then yeah, the salve would be very high value. But I don't know. I'm not sold on this. It's not horrible though. It's not a bad thought at all. Okay. And right here, there's no reason for you to push. You don't need to pull the creeps to like to reset the aggro or reset the equilibrium. So like you don't need to pull this camp into the creep wave. All you need to do is like just deny your creeps and then like stop the wave here. This is something that you can practice in a custom game, like pretty easily. So like this thing here, I'm not sure where it happened. Okay, yeah, here. Wait, no, not here. Was it before this? You just did it. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. Okay, so you have 2 range creeps left, so you can thin this out, and that's fine. But you generally want to wait until your range creep is dead before you start thinning. So it looks like you deny. Okay. Yeah, no, that's just fine then. Okay. I think trying to even it out is not super ideal, like in this case, like evening out the catapult, but it's not that bad. It's good if you're like really keeping track of it, actually. If this is something you're on the ball with. So that's not bad. Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Okay, pick up treads. Good choice. Always buy treads before Battle Fury. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. It's just the treads help you fight. They allow you to farm the jungle. They're just a huge investment. They're so good. Okay. Okay, you can blink after this guy for sure. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you don't know where Tusk is at this point, but it's pretty safe to blink on him here. I think I would have gone for this kill. Maybe that would cause me to die, but yeah. Actually, okay, you do know where Tusk is at this point, if you were looking at the map. So this guy is pretty much alone, guaranteed. So you could have blinked after him here. And he already used Echo Stomp, so it's not like he can like stomp you under tower or whatever. Okay. So speeding up. Okay. There's like a slight movement issue here. This might seem like really nitpicky again, but it does matter quite a bit, especially when you want to work on your creep equilibrium and just like laning in general. Basically, like in this situation where your melee creep is about to die, you need to make sure that you don't aggro the range creep. And like, so I'll slow it down really quick once it happens. Okay, so right here, the two melee creeps are fighting. In this case, you need to deny the melee creep before you go for the last hit. Like, you need to see the situation coming because it's something that happens a lot. And that way, the melee creep or the enemy melee creep will be left alive. You'll be able to run back a little bit and then last hit it, and then the range creeps will hit each other. Whereas here, the range creep switched to you temporarily, and now it's going to be like pretty low in comparison to your range creep. So the equilibrium is going to be a little bit messed up, especially since you know, Silencer messed it up a little bit. But yeah, that would matter even if he didn't mess it up. Okay. So speeding up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You get stomped, but absolutely no risk. I also noticed that you don't open up the scoreboard at all, like what I'm doing here. You need to be checking levels on heroes, like especially Invoker, Tusk. Basically any hero that like has a big impact ultimate, like a Walrus Punch duel in this game. Yeah, it's just a good habit. You can just do it every once in a while, like, you know, every minute or so. Or like if you're keeping track of a specific hero, you can do that as well. Also,
I think I tend to look at it when there's a jungler, but other than that, I probably don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's definitely helpful. You should certainly go for it. Even if you're just in lane against somebody, like, it's not bad to do. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, right before, if you have any questions, like, feel free to just interrupt me. It's totally fine. I'm not gonna get like mad or anything. Okay. So speeding up.
Tower is under attack.
Okay. This is again pretty nitpicky, but it does matter. Basically, like you kind of want to be looking around at what's going on when you're just last hitting like this. You don't. Well, you shouldn't have to focus on just CSing. You want to be able to get good enough at CSing to where you can like take a split second to look like this and just check to see like how the fight is going while it's going on, and not mess with CS at the same time. It is kind of hard to get used to, but it's something that you need to do. Like you need to be more conscious of the situation than just like looking at the corner of your screen here, because like they eventually do go off your screen, so you need to like kind of check things out over here and see what's going on. You don't have to like actually walk here, but just looking helps. Okay, this is a really bad trade by them. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, silencer goes around. That's good stuff. Okay. Yep, this is pretty good. It's like one thing though. Okay, so we're last hitting. Silencer gets chased. You're a little late to go on ET, but it doesn't end up mattering that much. And then he tries to man-fight you for whatever reason. Incredibly stupid. This is a good play. I think I would have man-avoided a bit earlier, just because like you're going to get the bonus damage on Tusk as well. And like he was already out of mana pretty much, so that would have been slightly better, but it's okay. And then the blink is where I have an issue. I think you should have chased a little bit, like right to here, and that way you would have vision on Tusk, because he very easily could just like run down here, and it wouldn't be good for him, but like it would be annoying for you because you would have to chase him a little farther. Like he could run down and then back, and like a silencer would be hitting him this whole time, but he might live and like tango through here or something. I don't know. So like when you commit blink like this so far, you're basically like giving him an option to delay you a little bit more. Like right here, you blink across, whereas like he has 2 paths to commit to, or even 3 if he goes down as well. So like you should wait till he commits to a path before you use your blink. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But still worked out really well for you guys. Okay.
Like I don't know, I feel like my overall map awareness and like clicking on enemies, I used to do that a lot, and then I spammed on ranked games for so long and I kind of lost my edge on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I mentioned you should just play ranked games. Is like when you feel like there's nothing to lose, it's like it's kind of hard to push yourself to get better.
Right.
Maybe like you're trading the grief of actually playing solo ranked for a sense of fun when you're playing Dota, but if you want to get better, I really think you should just play ranked games. If anything, just for that feeling of like feeling the need to get better.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All right. So there's not too much to say about this. It's just like the jungle Legion commander is gonna kill you, and like they rotate their heroes. You have a couple ways to prevent this. Number one is you go to the jungle when you feel like you're unsafe, or like Legion might have her blink. You kind of just have to go based off feel. Generally, after 10 minutes, a decent jungle Legion commander will have it. Also, like a lot of heroes are not showing in the map right now. Like this is a kind of a key thing here. Basically, like when Death Prophet and Enigma are just pushing mid like this and nobody's showing up, they have to be doing something, right? Like they're not just gonna give this tower up for no reason. Even if they're like 2K players or whatever, like 2K players at least know like, hey, tower is in danger. I need to go press my buttons over here. So they're either like ganking you or doing Roche or something, or they're like being super dumb and just farming or doing whatever. I don't know. But either way, what I'm trying to say is it's pretty likely that they're ganking you in this case, just because like these two are like giving you a lot of information. Like they're not being ganked, so maybe the enemy team is coming to kill me or something. And it's also 12 minutes. Legion hasn't really done too much. She's been farming a bit. She also got a kill, so maybe she's getting her blink soon. I don't know. I should be a little careful. So this is the number one prevention, and that's like just reading the map and looking into the clues that that are revealed here. And number 2 is asking for a lane ward after like 8 minutes or so. That would have prevented this gank, like if there's just a ward in lane. That's kind of something you have to ask for at 2K though, just because like supports don't always ward, and they don't always ward in the correct places. So
how do I know I should ask for a lane ward exactly?
well, it's not bad to ask every game, but in this game specifically, you should ask, or you should know, because Legion Commander is like a hero who can gank you and who is a threat to your hero. Just because like blink duel and then follow up from teammates is so high value. This would apply to like any hero with very high CC that's a support or like a mid hero that's off the map. So like if the enemy team had a Sand King, it would be the same thing, or like Lion, any hero with a high amount of CC or instant CC that can catch you, and that's when you ask for it. But you can never go wrong with just asking for one every game. I mean, some games there might be like 5 farming heroes on the enemy team, and they don't really like plan on ganking you, but it's still good to have one, like just in case. But yeah, this was mostly a map rating issue. Like you should kind of be able to infer that. Well, actually, you shouldn't be able to infer this because it's like pretty advanced, I think. But it's something you can like try to think about next time. Is a better way to phrase it, I think. Is like if my teammates are just pushing this and the enemy team aren't killing them, what are they doing? What could they be doing right now? In this case, like you're an anti-mage, you're a very high priority target. Especially, in lower MMRs where people are just like, oh my god, anti-mage, we gotta kill him, no matter what, like, even if they can't. So that's a pretty big thing, but that's okay. It's also a very hard thing to learn, so.
I'll keep it in mind, though.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is, partly, like you said, you lost the habit of, like, checking the map and things, and, like, just looking around the map will, like, maybe it won't like stimulate any thought, but it might like get your subconscious thinking about something. Like all right, this is where your spidey senses kick in. Where like, okay, looking around the map, I don't see anyone. This is a little weird. Okay, something going on. I don't know, but that will help for sure. Okay, TP gets a triple kill. Okay, this is a bad habit. You always want to look before you TP, just to see what's going on. I realize you just did look to see like what your teammates were doing, but you want to make sure that like DP isn't pushing out this wave or something, or like you want to like know what she's doing before you TP in. It's just a good habit. That way, like if she decides to stay and push the wave or whatever, you're still conscious of that, and you can like make a decision to go mid rather than go bottom or whatever. That being said, TPing bottom was the correct call here, but it's just a bad habit to just TP like that without looking. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to chase too far here. Actually, I'm not sure what happened. I think Enigma broke his buckle. Something like that. Oh, I heard he isn't. Okay. Very good. Okay. So, I think you actually had an option here. It's a little weird, but you might have been able to hold your blink and then wait until he runs into this path. Like, just chase until then. I'm not sure if you would be able to catch up, but you might be able to...
Essentially, like, path block him?
Yeah, because if you blink in front of him here, this is like a one-unit stairwell. Like, only one person can pass through at a time. As long as it's not a unit with like a particularly small hitbox, like a PL or a Naga or something. But in this case, you guys are two like fat heroes. If you just blink in front of him, you can block him. In this case, I realized blink was on cooldown, but that's what I was saying earlier, where like you could tango through here, once, and then save your blink until he commits to this path. I think that's the only way this kill happens. I'm not sure though. I don't even know if you could catch up at that point. So. Just a small thing to think about. Your hero is very good at like blocking these pathways. Another one is right here. It also applies. 2 heroes can fit through here sometimes, but you can block at certain points, like right here. Also applies right here. You can stand in the middle of these trees and block any units. So this is something to think about when you're playing blink heroes that can just like instantly change their position. You can also do it right here. This is probably the most common spot for laning and chasing people.
Well, it's something I've never given thought, so...
Mm. Oh, cool, cool. Okay, so at this point you guys are like pretty much in the clear. DP is making a lot of space, getting you guys a lot of tower XP and gold. That's good. Yep, just pushing the tower here is best. One thing that you don't do very often that is not good is you don't like push the wave and then go to the jungle. I highly recommend you try doing this. In this case, like you're getting the tower and you're getting a lot of damage on it, so it's fine. But in other cases where you have a lot of free farm time and you already have your treads and ring of health, is you can actually just like push the wave out really fast and then go to this camp, do it fast, then blink to this camp, then blink back to lane, and then you'll be here in time for the next wave. This is only after you get treads though, and this is like a very efficient way to spend your time if you're free farming. It's like getting the most out of your safe lane.
Yeah, I think I really struggle with efficient farming patterns too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
especially when I'm behind, so...
Right. Well, it can be tricky when you're behind, because like when you're behind, that implies that the opponent is ahead and they have like big items or whatever, and basically like they take up a bigger portion of the map because they farm faster. They're scary, so you can't run to that area where they are. It's harder to find places that are safe, so it's definitely like difficult. That's not something we can solve in like one session by any means, but it's something I can probably help with.
Every coin helps.
Okay. Unfortunately, there's like no easy trick either, so it's really just like learning a bunch of mini farming patterns and like playing a lot of Dota. That's the best way to get better at it. Okay,
Radiant's top tower
this is fine.
is under attack.
Okay, yeah, I think this was a fine decision not to help. You just get the tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Okay. So you get your battle for 16 minutes with treads. Not bad. It could have been a little faster if you were doing this camp thing, but it's okay. Don't worry about timings of items so much. It's really not that big a deal. Just get at them as quickly as you can and try to improve every game. Okay. So here's where Antimage really starts to like get interesting, so to speak. You just farm incredibly quickly. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, so you have the right idea here, where you can Quelling Blade creeps, but your like blinking patterns are a little weird. Basically, killing this camp was great. You get your Battle Fury, that's fine. But here in this case, you should just blink on top of the creeps rather than right here. This might seem like so nitty-gritty again and just like pointless, but it really does matter. It makes a big difference in the long run. Like, let's say you do this every time you blink to the small camp instead of blinking on top of the creeps. This is 2 seconds that you spend walking. So if you do this 10 times in a row, that's 20 seconds of time that you just spent walking. Or you could have been like going to another camp or something.
Yeah, and over a match, that'll add up quick.
Right, for sure. Also, when you're eating trees right here, this is a good idea. This is something you want to do. But you can generally just eat this one, and this is fine. And, you know, over time, keep destroying the wall of trees. That's fine, too. Also, this tree is very high value if you want to go between camps. That's good as well.
Got it.
Yeah, I cut that one later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this pattern that I said before, where you push out the wave and then go jungle, is even better now that you have Battle Fury. Okay, so you don't have to be really scared of this guy. It is a little random that he's doing this, so you can maybe infer that he's like smoking or something, or like he has teammates with him in that sense. But there was like a correct reaction. The correct reaction is to click on him and see what he has in his inventory and like mana, and then blink out. You didn't really have to blink out either though. You could have like held onto your spell and gone for the kill after. But Timber realizes that he's dead, so that's cool. But yeah, you would have been able to see that this guy just planted a ward if you were a little more conscious of like what was happening.
Yeah, that probably would have helped me a lot.
Yeah. Well, now anytime you pass through this area, like he just knows, and their whole team knows. Also, it looks like this barely blocks. The spawn box is like this. Yeah, it probably does block. So this is another reason for you to be able to deward it. But yeah, so basically, like, this Legion Commander and Invoker combo, they will be able to track you very easily now that this ward is here. Unless you, like, move somewhere else to farm, which would be weird.
Radiant's middle tower is
Okay.
under attack.
Okay, you're totally fine here. Yep. No worries. Okay, so here you should be able to tell that there's a ward here, because this camp isn't going to spawn. You know Enigma didn't just do it, so
Is under attack.
you should tell your supports in that case that there's a ward there.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Okay. It's pretty ambitious. Basically, like, you shouldn't go for this unless Enigma has detection. It's just kind of a waste of time. Like, the only way this works is if Invoker, like, forgets that he has Ghost Walk and doesn't cast it or something. Which, I mean, that can happen. It's not like a 0% chance, but pretty unlikely. It's probably gonna, you know, cast it and get away just fine. So yeah, it actually ends up hurting you guys. Like, Enigma ends up dying. And that's mainly his fault, but it is a little bit your fault too for, you know, encouraging him by blinking after him. Whereas you could have just killed this creep wave and it would have been okay. But at least you don't die. It's okay.
Are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay, I don't know what this Legion is doing. Okay.
Dire's
Oh, she has Blade
top
Mail, okay.
tower is under attack.
I was wondering why she just, like, randomly went for this, but she actually could have killed you if she Blade Mailed. So this is kind of a mistake. Yeah.
Dire's top
That's actually, like, pretty terrible on her part, but that's fine. So in games as Anti-Mage, or like any split pushing hero, or just any hero in general that is vulnerable to Legion Commander, so basically any hero that does a lot of damage and doesn't lifesteal that much, you just have to be conscious of this hero, like getting him a Blade Mail. Like, what this item allows this hero to do, when combined with a blink, is like she blinks on top of any hero that she couldn't 1v1 normally, and just kills them because of Blade Mail. Especially if she already has a little bit of dual damage behind her. It just becomes, like, really scary. So now you need to keep track of this hero's, like, position on the map, or, like, kind of guess in order to farm. Like, otherwise you're not going to be able to farm safely. So, like, your farming patterns need to be revolving around staying away from Legion Commander. So in this case, you don't go bottom jungle. Well, actually, you can go because you have teammates here, so that's totally fine, but yeah.
Radiant's bottom
Okay.
tower is under attack.
Okay, so you get the small camp. Yeah. So, like, the decision to go bottom was okay. I don't like this decision, though, to go to the medium camp. I think after this, you just immediately go mid and, like, clear the jungle out, or the enemy jungle out. Basically, you have vision on these heroes. Actually, no, you don't. Wait, what's going on here? One sec. Okay, yeah. So, let's go back. Okay, so you decide to go bottom. This is fine. You can get these two camps. Ideally, I would have liked to see you go top. Like, just through lane, like TP to lane or something. Or, I guess you can't TP because you just used it. But you can go get this camp and then blink over this wall, and this is fine. And by then, it's pretty likely that the enemy will show themselves on the map. If not, then you can go for a more defensive clear, which is like, you know, going for these two camps or whatever. But basically, you know Legion Commander is in bottom jungle because of this ward. So, like, you know you need to avoid this place. She's just very strong. Unless she was, like, no mana or something. Yeah, so going for the third camp here was kind of a mistake. You should just focus on going top at this point.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, so you couldn't help Timber. That's fine. You go for the small camp. Now you're just in kind of an awkward position where you're like, okay, I want to farm bottom, but there are people there. I don't want to fight people. So now you just need to leave immediately. You can't waste your time here. So you get your Vlads.
Dire's middle
Okay.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, your job is not to be here. Like, your job is to show up to fights that are close to towers and TP, or, like, you know, fights that are just close by, and, you know, win them with Mana Void. Other than that, you just need to be farming as hard as you can. That's the best way you can help your team. It's just by getting really strong. So alternatively, if you had spent this time, instead of going for the medium camp, and you use it to go top, you could be doing Ancients, this hard camp, go up here, this hard camp, then push out top wave, and you could be pressuring the enemy team through map control, rather than, you know, trying to fight them when you're not strong enough to do so. Okay. So you end up getting a kill. That's fine. Legion can just turn and fight you. I don't know why she's not. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you do get a kill, but, like, at what cost? You give up a duel. Enemy team's gonna go Roche here. You just have issues. Whereas before, like, maybe your team still dies, maybe the enemy team gets rushed, but at least you'd be pushing this the whole time and getting farm. You know, the opportunity cost of missing out on a fight when you're farming is like just basically like missing out on whatever happened in the fight, like the golden experience. But you're still at least getting golds by farming if you're defaulting to this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's also much safer too.
Right, right. Especially when Legion Commander is already committed to fighting here. Like, she can't be fighting here and top, so you know you're safe in that regard. So that's a much easier decision to make.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. But either way, not the end of the world. Still a Battle Fury Vlad's at a pretty reasonable time. Okay. You want to be careful of going bottom like this. It's easy to just default to doing this, but it actually makes more sense in this case to clear it up, like through mid. This is because like bottom wave is pushed out to their tower, and it's not just gonna like magically appear close to your tower. It's gonna take some time. So in this case, you should have TP'd here, gone to this hard camp, then up, then across to the medium camp, then small camp, then hard camp, and then by then the lane will be, you know, like around here, and that will be like very efficient. And then you can clear backwards, and that would be fine. You have to worry about like enemy heroes, obviously, so that would change, but that's the best default clear. Okay. So we're just farming. Okay. Can also do ancients, yep. Okay. Okay, you have no business being here. Okay. So I don't know why Invoker just didn't cast spells, but you had no business at all being there. He could have very easily killed you. He had Ags, like he could have blocked your TP, used Tornado, Ice Wall, EMP, whatever he wanted, but he just didn't. So let's talk about this. Basically, like, not only does he have bad items, like he could have had an Orchid and guaranteed your killing you with just Cold Snap and Orchid, but also he just didn't cast anything. So you just like, you don't defend tower in this case. You just like go pressure something else, or you like, you clear this camp and then blink across to here, and then farm this, and then, you know, do this, and then cut the creep wave so that he can't push anymore. He still gets his tower, but at least he can't go for the T2, and he can't go for you while he's doing this. So yeah, you had no business fighting this hero. Maybe if you had like Manta Abyssal or something, but not right now. You're not strong enough. You definitely need to focus way more on just like killing creeps on this hero, and just like showing up to fights with a TP rather than you know, being there to begin with. Okay. So you get your Yasha. Still pretty good timing, like pretty reasonable.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, this is not the best.
Radiant's top tower.
Okay, so it ends up working out. It's still a bit iffy though. If it isn't all toss. Alright, that's funny. Okay, anyway, yeah, so you can't really do this yet. The Yasha helps quite a bit, but you're just not really tanky enough to tank Rosh like this. I think it would have been okay if you guys had DP ults, but yeah. Okay.
Radiant's top tower is
Okay.
under attack. Has fallen.
Ends up working out okay though. It's fine. And you can always just heal up off creeps.
Radiant's top tower is under
It's also pretty weird that Dire didn't defend at all, but yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower is
This
under
is fine.
attack.
You need to be looking at Invoker though at this point. Like you don't need to watch your hero to be able to kill this creep camp. You can just A-click.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like you need to move your camera like this so you can see what's going on in the fight, and like get more information rather than just positioning. It's pretty weird. Okay, it's fine though. No worries. So you blink on Legion is ballsy. Okay.
Magic thyself out of that.
It ends up working out. I'm surprised Invoker didn't cast any spells. I guess he was silenced, so that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that was fine, I guess. Still a little weird,
Magic
but
thyself out of that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Structures are fortified.
okay. Yeah, the play is not to group with your team at this point. You're useful in fights, but only when you have Mana Void. Like, you do quite a bit of damage, but like, it's really hard for you to actually do that effectively without dying, or like, you know, without being able to stick on a target. So you should just go farm in this case, like a little bit earlier than this. You're more useful to your team by putting pressure on the map, and like, you know, pushing a wave or a lane at the same time as they're pushing another lane, than you are just like being here. So yeah, you do end up going to farm, so that's fine.
Radiant's top
But just something to think about when you don't have Mana Void up.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Okay, so you get your Menta, that's good. Good item choice.
Dire's bottom tower. Radiant's top
Okay,
tower
that's a nice dodge. Basically, like, it looks like you did see it coming here, but when there are like high threat enemy heroes on the enemy team that die, you just need to be conscious of like when they respawn, especially when you're an anti-mage. Like, you can pretty much assume that Legion is gonna try to kill you.
Radiant's top tower.
If she was smart, she would have smoked, and then you just guaranteed die because you're in a bad position here. But it works out, so it's okay.
Smoke to do that? That's interesting.
Yeah, smoke to kill an anti-mage. If she can solo you, like, that's so good.
Well, I mean, just in that situation specifically, like I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that.
Dire's bottom
Yeah, well, she needs it, right? Like, it's about to turn nighttime, so she could have just waited a little bit. But, like, the smoke will give her some time. Like, all here enemy units, or most, rather, hero units have 1800 daytime vision, which is, like, you know, it extends, pretty much here.
tower is under
Let's look at your player perspective. Okay, so it extends, you know, like, past where your screen is. Like, way down, towards the tower. So in this case, like, you can see her if your camera was in a better position. You could see her right now, and like, she's gonna walk into your range eventually. But like,
top tower is under attack.
she would show up like right here if she was smoked, like rather than you know, way back here where you could have seen her. So like, that's why it's high value, because like smoke radius or smoke break radius is like 1100 units, I think, like something like that. So yeah, it's totally fine for like heroes to go for smoke plays like that, especially if you know, it's an anti-mage or something. You probably won't see that too often, but I mean, it's something that can and should be done. Okay. Okay, so I don't like your farming pattern here. It's like efficient, it's not bad, but you know the team, or you know the enemy team, like where they are at this point in the game. Like, okay, I went too far. Shit. Okay. So, farming, Legion shows bottom. Okay, right here. So, Tusk is showing mid. Windrunner shows mid. Legion just showed bottom. So, you know, she's kind of in that area. Legion shows mid here for a split second. So, in this case, like, it's actually better for you to just go bottom again. And, like, you know, create a little more pressure. You're going to sacrifice some farm, but it will be good because you're going to, like, make the enemy team run to you. And if you get out in time, which you should have no problems doing that. You'll be in a position where, like, you're kind of making them do what you want them to do, which is just chase you. And then your team gets some space out of it. Whereas now, because you committed to the full clear going down, like, you're getting some golden XP, but you're not helping your team at all. You don't need to help your team in the sense that you need to show up for the fight, but you can help them by pushing this tower while, you know, they're creating space. And also, when you go for this fight or whatever, it looks like you're not even looking. Yeah, now you're actually in danger here. Like, if they have this warded, they're very close. Oh, you actually just go... Okay. So this was, like, 100% a map awareness thing. Your team just was fighting up here with Legion Commander. You had no idea if Duel was used, if she was full HP or whatever, and you're just, like, blinking into fog willy-nilly. So this is definitely a map awareness thing. Okay. Okay, so yeah. I can't tell if this is, like, more important for you to focus on map awareness or the farming pattern. But I'm gonna go with map awareness because it's a little bit more fundamental.
Radiant's middle tower has
Yeah, either way, let's continue watching to see how you adjust.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Okay.
attack.
Okay. Yeah, your farming patterns are just very defensive, and that's not bad, but I'd say passive is a better word actually, rather than defensive. You just like can't get anything out of farming this area, other than golden XP, of course. Whereas like if you're farming like let's say the enemy jungle up here, or like pushing this lane out, like if you're pushing a lane, you're getting map pressure out of it, in addition to golden XP. And if you're farming the enemy jungle, you're like denying farm in a sense because they can't take these creeps as well.
And the pressure's worth more, so.
Right. It's worth much more. Like you can't really put a price on like how much the pressure is worth, but it's good to know that it's worth more in most cases. Like that's good enough for sure. Yeah, you're endangering yourself quite a bit here. You can get shackled. Eeks. Okay. They don't have duel, so you end up living, but okay.
Like, and I know one of my problems is like I have a 1.5k friend and I'll play party and my party's like what, flat 2k. And I tend to have problems closing games or winning them for myself when I have an advantage, and I don't I'm not entirely sure why, but
Tower is under attack.
Well, this is quite likely the big reason is because you don't seem to like have a good grasp on like pressure and map pressure and like what it means to be farmed as a carry, or like what it means to split push at all. Like basically these decisions, like where like pushing here bottom instead of going to this camp or whatever, this is what separates like really
Radiant's middle tower is under
okay,
attack.
I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but really mediocre carry players from like good carry players. Not even good from great or anything like that, but good carry players will know that they can pressure this lane by like, or they can pressure the enemy team by just farming like in certain places, and like they know when it's annoying to see an enemy or an anti-mage, just hitting their T1 towers or T2 towers rather. They just know how to annoy the enemy team and like make them do what they want. It doesn't really work on like the greatest players of all time because they just do whatever they want no matter what. But yeah, this is something that's like pretty important as a carry, I think. I wouldn't call it a fundamental skill, but it's definitely
Middle tower has
an important skill for anyone that's looking to get like 4 or 5k. Is just knowing where to pressure on the map. And that's something you don't have to like beat yourself up for not knowing or anything. It's pretty high level. It's something that you can start applying though in your games. It's just like you can start with, okay, I need to push creep waves. If the enemy team is all off in one side of the map and I'm not like fully ready to fight, then I can just push another lane, and this will help my team in some way. Even if I'm supposed to be at the fight and I'm supposed to really contribute here, if I make the wrong decision, at least I'm pushing this lane and getting something out of it. Okay. So you end up going for BKB. I don't like this, mainly because of duel. Like this spell goes through BKB, obviously, like a pierces spell immunity. So BKB is kind of useless in this case. It's good against Invoker. It's good against Windrunner as well, a little bit, because you can BKB the tackle off. Or like a pre-BKB rather, and that's good. But it's pretty hard to use in this game, I think. Also, they have Walrus Punch, which it pierces spell immunity as well. I think I would have rather seen you go for like Butterfly. They don't have much nuke damage really. It's like Invoker has EMP Tornado, and Cold Snap, I guess, but
Radiant's
they do have quite a bit of physical damage. So if you go Butterfly here, it's probably the best defensive item that you could get, outside of like something that you wouldn't buy in Antimage, like a Scotty or something. I don't know, but Butterfly will give you like a much faster farming time. You'll be able to fight a little bit easier, and you obviously take much less damage from physical attacks due to the armor and evasion. So I think that would have been a better choice in this game.
Yeah, and after I got BKB, I was thinking either Heart or Butterfly, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you can't go Heart. Definitely not Heart. Like your offensive capabilities are just not good enough at that point. You always need to be able to like kill stuff at a certain point. I mean, some games like you are gonna need just like a ton of defensive items. Like you can go BKB link hits in some games, and that's good. But like in most games, it's better to default to just going like one defensive item and the rest offensive, and that's usually enough. Take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt, but that's generally an okay rule. Basically, when you go heart and BKB, you're just like building a bunch of HP, and HP is not bad, but like HP is like not as good if you don't have a lot of armor to back it up, and a lot of magic resist as well. So I guess you have like 19 armor, and that's okay, but it's not quite enough when the enemy team has like Deso, whatever else they have. Yeah, I know they have a Deso on Legion. Yeah. Okay. So basically, like Butterfly was just like the best item after Manta in this game. Long story short. I think if you want to carry games, then you need to go Butterfly Abyssal. Like if you want to carry this game solo. Because then you can start getting pickoffs as well by yourself. Okay, here you should have pushed a little bit. Fuck. I hate this button, this jump ahead button. Okay. I don't remember what time we were at. Let's pass this. Okay, so Windrunner and Tusk show bottom. Legion shows on the map for a split second here. Okay, do Ancients. Then Legion passes through a ward. Here you should like be signaled that you can just push this as hard as you can. Or as hard as you want to. Because like Legion showed on the map. And she's like the hero that's going to kill you. And obviously you have teammates as well. So you should push this wave here. This next one. Probably the one after that as well. And this will, you know, create more pressure and stuff. And you do push it with mantas, but it's not going to be like as much. And you're also going to miss some CS, so kind of sucks. Okay. So you end up going bottom to jungle. Yeah. See, like right here, rather than being in this position, if you were pushing out top, then maybe Invoker follows you solo, but he can't kill you. You have Manta and BKB. It's impossible for him to kill you. So like the only hero that's going to kill you since you have BKB now is the Legion. And she showed bottom the entire time. So you could have been pressuring this tier 2 tower by now, if you had gone top instead. And like you got some farm, like you got the Centaur camp, you got, you know, Ancients again. Neat, you're getting some farm down here, but it's not as high value as the pressure. Always remember like objectives, farm, kills when you're playing carries like Antimage anyway. At least in terms of like priority. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, the end thing just means like if you can't get kills after this, then you just try to go back to farming. But yeah. Okay. So pretty standard. Okay. See, like now, leading commander is not showing on the map. You kind of have to infer that, you know, she's in the jungle since she was just here and she didn't leave. It's kind of weird for her to be here, but you still kind of have to assume. Also, your teammates were like a bit slow. Like she should have gotten black holed, but you can't really rely on your teammates in most cases. So she definitely doesn't kill you in like a ideal world, but yeah. Okay, she definitely doesn't kill any of these heroes, but it's okay. Okay, so that would have all been solved by just black holing, but whatever. It's all good. You bought back here, and this is bad. This is like game losing. And what happens if you kill this Legion Commander?
I don't.
Well, no, what happens if you do, like, just hypothetically? You get some golden experience, and then that's it. Like, the train stops there. You get a lot of golden experience, but you don't get any objectives or anything. You never want to buy back if you're not going to get some kind of objective out of it. Or if you have to just buy back to defend your towers, like your T3s or your Raxes or whatever, then it's fine. But in most cases, you only want to buy back when it's like going to present a good opportunity for you outside of like just killing people. This doesn't apply in the super late game, where like if you kill heroes, they're dead for like 2 minutes. But yeah. So this is pretty rough. You basically just stopped all your item progression from here. This is pretty much where the game ends, I'd imagine. Like, Maybe it doesn't end here, but
Radiant's
yeah.
middle tower
But
is under
basically, it's
attack.
over, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you are anti-mage, so you can always come back through like creep cutting and stuff. But typically, you have to be farming really well and pressuring well beforehand to come back. Yeah. Okay. So I think from here on, it's not super efficient to watch the rest of this. We can continue watching if you want, or we can switch to like questions you have, or other stuff. It's up to you for what you want to do from here on.
Well, whatever you think is best.
Okay. Well, if you have no other questions, I'll show you a custom game. Okay. So have you done this? It might I'm not trying to insult you here or anything, but this is actually really helpful. This Last Hit Challenge custom game. Basically, what it does is it here, I'll just show you actually. It just sets you up for really quick and easy last hit practice for any hero. There's no cheating involved. It's just quite easy. I recommend doing this before you warm up, or as your warm up every day, 5-10 minutes. You can even do it for 2 minutes a day if you want. But it does help, and since you're a carry and mid player, it's important that you do this, or you actively try to get better at CSing. So you can just select your time. I'll do 2 minutes 30 seconds. I mix, creep spawn, and I'm going right away. And this saves you some time, when you go for last hitting. Yeah. You can also hide the help here, so you don't have the annoying stuff. But okay, so this is important. I recommend doing this 2 minutes a day, like I said. Don't have to, obviously, but I think it'll help. Okay, spawn boxes.
When it was Source 1, I know they had something like that you could use with the console, but then I know when Reborn came, that didn't exist, so...
Yeah, well, this just makes it really easy, right? You don't have to think at all when you do this. You're just you just load it up really quick, and it does everything for you, basically. So that's good. Spawn boxes. Okay, this is a good one as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this one.
I have it.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright, so I won't have to explain it then. But this helps for when you're stacking camps for yourself and stuff like that. Definitely very good. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Can you send me your Dota buff really quick? Okay. Okay. So, again, this is pretty nitpicky, but generally for getting better, I recommend you play heroes multiple times in a row. So you'll play 3 to 4 games of ANTIMAGE and then switch to 3 to 4 games of Ricky, then switch to 3 to 4 games of Sven. This just helps you build muscle memory a little bit faster. You don't have to do this obviously, but it's how I recommend people get better. I found it helps me a lot anyway when I do that. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that. I just recommend doing that. But
I'll give it a shot. I know in some cases I try to use counter picking and stuff, so...
Yeah, so the method that I said isn't the best for gaining MMR by any means, but that's definitely the best for gradual improvement over time. It's totally fine if you want to counter pick and stuff though. That's completely okay. Yeah, so that's all I got. Do you have any other questions or anything like that?
Well... I don't know, not really. I mean, I think I'm okay.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then thanks for your time. And if you have any questions later on down the road, later this month or whatever, just feel free to Skype me. I don't bite.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, I think so. It'll help me. My only thing is with other carries, for example. I don't know. I mean, I think it's hero specific, but I'm not sure.
No, feel free to ask.
If I'm in a similar situation and I'm just playing, well, I mean, I main Ricky a lot of the time, but like I'm not sure what I can do as Ricky. He's not that great of a pusher, so if I was behind in that case, I'm not sure how I would fix that. And I can't flash farm or anything, so.
Yeah, it is a little different when you're playing Ricky. That's kind of why I think Ricky is like not a carry, like a safe lane carry or a traditional one anyway. I think he's more of a support or off lane, but either way, in that case you can still farm the jungle with like lifesteal, or you can also farm lanes as Ricky. Like you can't push nearly as fast as Antimage, but you do push like okay. At least the creep part, you don't really hit towers that hard, but that's something you can do. Also, you can go for pickoffs normally, like very early on as Ricky, so you can incorporate that into your farming patterns. So like let's say instead of I wish there was a screenshot of the map or something, but let's say instead of going from Radiant bottom lane to like the hard camp, you could go from Radiant bottom lane, push it out, and then go to like enemy ancients or something, like dire ancients, and then try to find a pick off there if you see somebody there, or if not, you can just default to pushing again. Definitely with Ricky, like you'd want to focus more on getting pickoffs rather than farming, but farming is still an important part. So yeah, I think biggest things for you to take away from this are just like look around the map more and try to play a little bit more selfishly, like just push onto your own more and like keep in mind like what the enemy threats are, and over time you'll develop a better sense of split pushing, like farming when you need to be at fights, stuff like that. And I think that'll be best for you.
All right, well, I'll keep it in mind. I don't know. I just feel like I've peaked, I guess, in terms of MMR right at the moment, because like I can maybe get lucky and I'll get carried to like 2750, and after that it just gets really hard.
Yeah, well, usually that's just some sort of mental block that people have, or like they're not getting a concept that they need to learn to advance to the next stage. I definitely think the farming thing is something that you don't quite get yet, like farming to create pressure. I kind of recommend watching a few replays of like RTZ, and like maybe on him on Antimage in a pub or something, and just like try to look at his hero in relation to the other heroes on the map, because like he's consciously deciding where he wants to go, and like he's deciding to go bottom lane over top lane or top lane over bottom lane or whatever, and it's because of where the enemy heroes are positioned or when they're not showing on the map. So I recommend you watching a few replays actually, not of your own play, but of like a pro player like RTZ, and just trying to like look for patterns and stuff, and like see if you can figure out why they make certain decisions. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got at this point.
All right, well, I'll try and put it to use. I don't know. Oh, one random question. Are you putting this one on YouTube so I can rewatch it?
Yeah, no, I put them all, unless you don't want me to, and then I won't, of course.
No, it's fine. I like rewatching it. It'll help a lot, actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I upload them. It's just like, it's so much information to take in all at once, so.
Right, and the second dose, third dose, whatever you need to get it through your skull. But...
Right.
All right, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good luck, dude.
Thank you.